And we're live. And we're live.
Hello,
Good
hello,
Friday,
hello.
everybody. Good Friday night. It's Miko, and I have Steven Hartnett with me today.
How y'all doing?
Yay! All right, y'all. Share. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. You see, it says impeach or acquit, right? So Steven and I, we've been going back and forth in Messenger and on Facebook, and we are here today to talk about the second impeachment trial of Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump. And we want to hear your feedback, your input. So please start sharing this,
That's
and
right.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And here's the thing: not everybody. Um, Let me see. How do I put this, Stephen? Are we crazy? Because we're into it. We're
Yeah, I
into.
am. I really am into it. It's not every day. Well, minus this two times. It's not every day you get to witness. The historicness of an impeachment and what our founding fathers, intended for it to be. So it's interesting to me.
Me too. And
Yeah,
I am literally glued to it.
yeah,
um, everywhere I go. So over this next hour, Stephen and myself, we're just going to be going through kind of what we've been witnessing for those of you that have not been able to follow what's going on. And feel free to ask us questions,
yeah.
drop stuff in the chat there, and we will address your questions as well. This is an opinion show, right?
Yes.
So we ain't saying we perfect.
No, not by far.
Exactly, but it's just our opinion. And sometimes I think it's just important for people to have the space,
Yes.
this space to talk, the space to say, how this impeachment, what they think, right?
Yes.
And, really even kind of just to prepare ourselves for what can happen on either end,
That's
right?
right.
Impeach or acquittal, because these
We'll see.
Republicans may actually let this man go.
Yeah. Um, it's going to take 17 Republicans to switch over. And like I said, the first vote they had was only five switched, and most we've had is six Republicans. Um, I don't see them doing it. Not 17 Republicans.
I don't either. And the crazy thing is, let me see, we got share, share, share. If you're joining us, this is Miko and Steven, and we're
Yep.
talking about the second impeachment trial of Donald J. Trump. So please drop us a chat. Let us know a
Yes.
comment.
Yes.
Let us know,
Talk with
what do
us for
you
a little
think?
bit. Yeah.
Please, what do you think? Impeach or not enough evidence, let's acquit? Let's go ahead and drop that in the comments. Let us know what you think. And let's see, Stephen, did you share it to Best
No,
of
not
Mullins?
yet. No,
Okay,
not. No.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop it in a couple
Go
groups
ahead.
I got
All
here.
right. Thank you.
And so, guys, if you're just joining, stay with us. Today, we are going to be talking about the second impeachment Trump. The Trump.
Yes.
He is a chump.
Yeah.
CHUMP. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Miko, be nice. Be nice. I'm gonna try to be nice. Stephen, you gonna keep me good? Keep
Yeah,
me nice?
no, no, you're gonna have to probably do that for me when it comes to 46 minus one. Just, it's just,
Oh, something else. It's something else. All right, guys. So do share. And if you're watching this on replay, we thank you so much for joining us on replay. But even if you're on replay, go ahead and drop in the comments. Let us know, what do you think? If you've been, have you been following the impeachment trial so far? And if so, what's your thoughts? You could, just
yeah.
say impeach or quit. Just drop it in there and let us know. So let's go ahead and dive in, right?
All right.
So, as Stephen said, this is historic. Never before, I mean, it's only been three impeachments of presidents. Is it three, Stephen? Period?
Uh, well, he made, yeah. Well, you got Clinton,
Clinton.
46 minus one twice. Um, somebody else. So it's four, I think.
Nixon didn't get impeached, remember? Because he quit.
No, but it was, yeah, he quit. I think I
Not
want to say
many.
it was four. It wasn't many. It's
Yeah.
historic, but it's not over five. I'm pretty sure that off the top of my
Right.
head.
So yeah, so if you think about that, we're living in a day and time where, because there's always been partisan senates and House of Representatives, right? Always.
Yes.
I don't know anybody that had it harder than poor Obama. And he
Wow.
went 8 years and never got impeached.
Never. No family
Yet,
scandals.
right. So this is something different.
Yeah.
And so the process is going like this. The House, while uh, former President Trump was in
Mm.
office, the House impeached him, but there has to be a trial in the Senate. And in the Senate, that's what's going on right now. So the process is this: the impeachment managers, which they together,
Yes.
the
Definitely
impeachment
are.
managers. Whew,
Yeah.
okay, we'll come
Top to
back to
bottom.
being top every
Yes.
single one. Every
Yes.
There is not one crazy. They know what they're talking about. But the impeachment managers, they represent the people, right? So that's
Yes.
us. So, and they're from the House of Representatives. They had 16 hours to present their case, and of the
Mhm.
16 hours, they didn't use it all. They used about 9.
Yes.
Then the second thing is the defense has 16 hours to present their case. And the defense, those are attorneys for former President Donald J. Trump. And they used about 3 hours to present their case. Then the next thing is there was questions and answers when the senators had an opportunity to ask both sides questions and answers. Um, and then closing arguments, and then they're going to vote on whether or not to bring witnesses,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So, what do y'all think? Stephen, what do you think? Should witnesses be allowed to testify? And if you're on watching with us, let us know you're here. Drop us a comment and let us know, what do you think? Should witnesses be allowed to testify?
Um, it's different when you have the affected person face to face. So I think every witness, or not every witness, but someone like the Quanon dude, he should testify. Because that'll show how he was influenced by former President Trump.
Right.
He actually felt that he was doing former President Trump's bidding. We even have, messages of white supremacist group waiting orders, with machine guns and stuff, AKs and AR-15s, just awaiting the word to stand back, the same stuff he did in the debate, you know. So it's
Nonsense.
yes,
So yeah, and I think there could be an argument either way, right? Because the impeachment trial is a disruption to our country, right?
yes,
I mean, y'all, I can't pull myself away from it, right? And the senators could be doing other things.
they
So
could.
I can see if and the impeachment managers has really done an excellent case
They
of
have.
stating their prosecution, and the defense. They've just done a terrible job. I can't follow them jokers.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yes. Wow. But that ought to tell you, if this is a regular courtroom, um, the judge is laughing at the defense and what they bring to the table.
Yes, yes. So Nancy McGee, she says she says we'll have witnesses. Her opinion is
Yes.
yes to witnesses, but she's scared of the repercussions. What do you mean? Tell
Yeah.
us what repercussions, Nancy, do you think may be out there if they have witnesses?
Hmm.
Let's see.
Hmm.
And Kawana says witnesses testified, but this whole thing
Yeah.
really is a joke. Ooh,
Thank you. Yep.
you see. I hate to even use Charles Manson's name. Yes, and guess what? Charles Manson. So what Kawana is saying is, hey, look. Trump may
Thank you.
not have broken in the windows, He may not have
Yeah,
defecated on the walls, but he sent them there. So he's responsible. Charles Manson is still in jail and he didn't
hmm,
physically kill one person.
that's right.
Look at that. Look at that. I agree. And Ken Campbell says yes, the witnesses. Yes, the witnesses. I mean,
That's
let's
right.
see, y'all. Let's see. Let's see. Nancy. Oh, she has a good point, y'all. So what Nancy is saying is that she thinks we should have witnesses, but she says there may be repercussions for those witnesses.
A lot of senators, um, just like when they did the vote for what's their name? This the senator that they censored. They did a silent count, and that was
The
something
one from Arizona,
the
no,
one
from
from Arizona.
Wyoming.
Yes,
Cheney's daughter,
Cheney's
Senator,
daughter.
Senator, Senator.
Yes,
Hmm.
when they went to spank her hand, they did a silent count, and for something as major as this, that would have a lot of the senators are scared, as they
Yeah.
should be. We have radicalized terrorists in our country.
They could be, think about it, y'all. Think about it. Thank you so much, Reagan, Liz Cheney. Thank you so much. But you know what? We don't know where those people are from who went to DC and were part of the insurrection. They could be your neighbors. So when they show pictures of people who was at the, they're looking, when the FBI says, I'm looking for this person, I look really close
You better.
because they could be your neighbor. They could be somebody you work with, right? This is crazy. And so, a senator who's afraid, and I get you, the senators who are afraid, like Mitt Romney, let's talk about that. But, like Mitt Romney, but they got security. If they just put up, like you said, the QAnon guy who says, hey, look, I was tricked, I was duped. I thought this Q guy was really some mystical character and I was pulled into this cult, they his life may be at risk, or
Mhm.
somebody that'll come up and say, proof to what Trump did, their lives could be at risk. So I get it. I get it. Um oh, what do you mean, Ken? Obama did not fly one plane. I need to know what you mean by that. Um oh, see. Yeah, she said people from Horry County was there, and that's close. She's right.
Yeah, the administrator, one of the administrators, was there. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
A paid employee of the people.
um, a word that's not used that should be used, and I'll use it because it's true. Is radicalized. They are
Mm,
radicalized domestic terrorists, and um, Bin Laden didn't fly any of the planes into any of these buildings. But
right,
look at his influence on those so-called radicalized jihadists.
right.
It's no different, y'all.
Or Jim Jones, who got all them people to, give up all their money and drink the Kool-Aid and kill themselves.
Well, I'll take that
Radicalized.
back. I'll take that back. There is a difference. The difference between a jihadist, radicalized terrorist is they have laws and punishment for those type of people. And as an American, we don't have any sentencing guidelines for any radicalized domestic terrorists that are within our ranks.
Right. Right. So you know what? Let's just go there. Let's go there. Let's talk about white supremacy. A terrorist organization. That should be an S at the end, right? Um,
Yes,
because that's what they are. They
yes,
are a terrorist organization, and we all witnessed it, right?
yes.
And that organization attacked our country, and we're just supposed to let that go. Um,
Um,
so, Stephen, do you think this is the first time that that the white supremacy terrorist organization attacked our country in recent history?
we can go back to Michigan right now. That same group, what was his name? Terry McVeigh. Remember him, the Oklahoma City bomber?
Mm-hmm.
He was a part of that little legion in Michigan. So you mean to tell me they arrested Terry McVeigh, that that terrorist that was a part of the Oklahoma City? Birds of
And
a
he was
feather gonna
executed.
he was
Mm-hmm.
executed, but birds of a feather flock together.
That's right.
So no one was investigated since then. So imagine how they've grown. I mean, no
Yep.
one's checking on them. For Donald Trump disbanded this very organization in the Homeland Security for this reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And and Ken, you know, he's really deep in his comments. And if you're looking, look at what he says in the comments about the flag. But those people who stormed our Capitol, they had flags that had Trump's name on there. Like, who
Hmm.
does that? Like a flag with Trump's name on it. I mean, that's some cultish, crazy stuff. But
That's absolutely right.
let's keep talking about. I want to show a little video of a news report, and in this video, this thing was planned.
Yes.
And this is a tweet. This video is going to start with a tweet on December 19th. It's less than a minute. So here, let's take a look. And then Stephen and I talk about it after the video.
On December 19th at 1:42 in the morning, our commander-in-chief tweeted, "Big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild. Will be wild." It was his last chance to stop a peaceful transition of power. And he gave his supporters plenty of time to plan.
Look at that. So remember, we were just talking about a riot. It just spontaneously breaks out, civil unrest. Something happens, right? Something happens. And then, you just have this civil unrest. But he sent that tweet, and I'm sure there's many more. That was December 19th at 1:42 in the morning. He sent that tweet saying, "Come to DC on January 6th. It's going to be wild." What else do we need to say,
This
Steve?
is after. This is after he couldn't get the help of others, to sway the votes. So he kept
61,
on.
61 courts.
Yeah.
61
Hmm.
courts. He had,
Yes.
think about that, y'all.
Yes.
Think about it. And here's the thing. I hope he used his own money to do all that. I don't even know if he did. But 61 courts
Mhm.
told
But
him that,
the thing is, I'm sorry to cut you off.
no, no, no.
The you notice none of the lawyers ever spoke that big lie in a courtroom as for running the risk of being disbarred. So why was it suffice for you to say it outside the courtroom, but when it was time to put up inside the courtroom, knowing the ramifications if you were caught in a lie, they chose to be silent because they had no proof.
They had no proof.
None.
They had no proof. They had no proof. And so
But
that was six.
it's a way to kick the can down the road until they can regroup and reorganize.
Right. And so the big lie, just in case some of you guys aren't aware what we are all calling the big lie, it is when Donald Trump and his cronies said that the election was stolen from them.
Yes.
He refused. I mean, talk about the biggest loser. This guy is the biggest loser. But he refused to lose. He refused to lose to this day. And so he just told a lie. I won. Insane.
Never conceded. Never conceded.
To this day, as a matter of fact, there's a new date in March.
That's
I was
key
watching
now.
Rachel
March the
Maddow.
4th. March the
March
4th.
the, and so the conspiracy theory is that that's when he is going to be installed as president.
Yes, ma'am.
And all these crazy people got hotel reservations in DC.
All of it. Yep. Yes, they do.
Oh, oh my goodness. So one thing I got to get to, and that is for those of y'all that are watching, what is that painting behind your head, Stephen? Do
uh,
tell.
my brother gave me the Spanish. Thomas Hartnett. That's Jerome's in the house.
From the Martin Lawrence. Oh my goodness. So your brother gave it to you as a gift?
Yes, because yes, he did, and I thought it would fit perfectly right here. So when people come to, yeah, oh yeah, Rome's in the house.
Rose in the house. All right, all right. I'm sorry, y'all. I saw that. I just had to comment on. I don't know if y'all been checking that out. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
what is that? But that was a funny episode. I wish I had a clip of that. All right, so
yes.
let's go ahead with this. Keep going down this path of this big lie, and I'm going to show a clip here, and it's Rep Plaskett, and she's
Mhm.
talking about the big lie, and then after that, then we will come back and
Rep Plaskett.
Spent months spreading his big lie of the election. He also spent months cultivating groups of people who, following his command, repeatedly engaged in real, dangerous violence.
repeatedly. Well, first of all, before we talk about what she said about the big lie and how he lied and lied and lied, let's just talk about Rep Plaskett for a minute. All right,
Mm-mm.
ladies, the
Lord,
internet, we was going crazy with her outfit, that dress with the sleeves. Okay, we just gotta take a quick little
yes,
sidebar. I mean, girlfriend's got it together. She's got
yes, she
her facts
does.
together. She's presenting her case extremely well, and she looks
Looks
amazing. What do y'all think?
amazing. She
Okay,
looks
that's the
amazing.
man's point of view.
She looks amazing.
And then
Yes,
today, she's got on a black suit
yes.
with a pink satin blouse with a big bow.
Yeah,
I was
she's
like,
showing off.
ooh, she's showing off,
Yes, she
okay?
is.
Virgin
Yes,
Islands represent.
yes, she is.
And you know what I
Beauty
found
and brain.
interesting? Broody and brains.
That's right.
And what I find interesting about her is that um, despite the fact that she can't vote,
Yes,
right? She's still an elected official and she's doing her thing.
that's right.
She's doing her thing. And on the Q&A part, it seemed like every other question, she was like, I got it.
I saw that. Yeah,
Oh,
she's
okay.
smart.
Let's see. We got some comments coming in.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Remember this one
Yes.
here? Let
Yeah.
me put this one up from Reagan.
Yes. I got
Remember when he said he can shoot someone in public and nothing would happen to him?
you.
Goodness gracious. Did he just prove that to us? If he's acquitted, he would have proved. He's been telling us that for 4 years he can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. 5 people died on January 6th in the insurrection.
Yes. That doesn't count over the 140 Capitol police officers who were injured. I mean, some are going to lose their eyes. A lot of stuff. I'm a military veteran who's
Thank you for your
experienced
service.
battles, and most of our battles maybe lasted 15, 20 minutes. And just the anguish, the stress from being in combat. It gets hectic at times, but these Capitol Police endure these for hours on hours. So like I said, the stress that they're going through right now, I can only imagine, and
I
people aren't
can't.
taking that into consideration.
140.
It's
Think
100.
about it.
Yes,
140 Capitol Police. I don't know how many police that we have in all of Marion County, but I don't think it's
not
140.
140. No.
So you're talking about multiple counties worth of police. And if you happen to be watching us from New Jersey or someplace else, just think about what it would mean if 140 police were injured. And these aren't little injuries, like you said. One person's gonna lose their eyes, another guy lost the tips of his fingers, stabbings,
Yes.
broken ribs.
Um,
This was no
but
little.
this is the same group. This is the same group that backed the blue. You know, this is the same group that saw no wrong in any of the cops when Black Lives Matter were protesting the, you know, the racial discrimination. So
Well,
it's
let's go there because you brought up
mm,
Black Lives Matter. And it
mm,
just irks me so bad when they try to compare the insurrection to Black Lives
yes,
Matter protests.
yes,
There is
yes,
absolutely no comparison. And I said you can. We're going to come back because we're going to talk about that. I want to get to that comment about Mike Pence. Um,
yes.
so, but let's just talk about Black Lives Matter and just protests in general, right? And I've shared with people before, I have participated in protests in DC. I have
Mm,
been in protests in New Jersey, in Philadelphia, and in Columbia. Matter of fact, after George Floyd, I was a speaker at a protest on the steps of the State House in Columbia. And the one thing I'll tell you is that they are all peaceful and
yes.
orchestrated because you have to have a permit. The
Mhm.
people who are creating are bringing people together for the protest. They have to have the permit, and then you are trained, right? I'm not a professional protester, but when I go to the protest, you go to the organizers. They tell you what you're going to do. There is a time, right?
Wow.
You don't just get to go to Washington, D.C. and go to the Capitol. No, we're going at 2 o'clock. That's what our
Yes,
permit says,
yes.
right? And so you get trained, and then everybody gathers at 2 o'clock. And it was funny. So we're going at 2 o'clock, and at 1:30, you see all the Capitol Police come in. They come
Yeah.
in with the buses ready to take us to lock us up, and they all got those
Zip
same
ties. Zip
zip
ties.
ties. They got the zip
Yes.
ties. But we're protesters.
That's
They're
right.
Capitol Police. They was, hey, how you doing? They're sitting there drinking coffee. You know, we was all relaxed, right? It's not a protest. Is something that you do because you want your voice to be heard. I always talk about
Not to
using
be
your voice.
disrupted. Not to be disrupted. You want to be heard, not to cause disruption. If you cause disruption, you're never heard.
You never heard. And so, in a riot, so you got a protest, you got a riot breaks out. When there's civil unrest, it is spontaneous.
Yes.
You don't say in a tweet on December 19th at 1:42 a.m., come to DC on January 6th, we're going to riot. No, riots are not planned. Never,
You're right. You're right.
never. I was talking to someone about the riot that happened when Martin Luther King was killed. Spontaneous. They killed Martin Luther King, and riots spontaneously broke out all over this nation.
That's right.
It wasn't planned. Nobody tweeted them up in advance. But here, let's get to some of these questions. So, somebody said something about Pence, and let me see where it's at.
That was Ken Campbell.
Yes. So, what do you got? That's why he turned on Pence. He meant for everyone to be in line for president. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
well, that's deep. But
It's not
here's the
alive.
thing. It's not. I mean, I saw, and some of you may have seen the video where they keep showing Pence being taken out, like being, he basically just escaped. And so I'm thinking, did he really try to do something terrible to our vice president? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? If you're following, um, the timing of
Yeah.
when Pence got out of where they were meeting
Mm-hmm.
to certify the election, um, and from the time that Pence got out and when the actual insurrectionists came into the where they were meeting at, it wasn't a whole lot of time.
Mm-hmm. No.
It wasn't a whole lot of time. Yeah, Chucky says it's an open and shut trial for him. I think so too. I mean,
Yeah.
how do you overlook these facts?
Well, they're going to overlook them, and they don't look at them as facts. a Republican senator is having a choice of either trying to be the next Donald Trump or afraid of if they don't adhere to what Donald Trump says, they'll lose in a runoff and he'll, you know, have someone, you know, go against him in a run, you know, in an election.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's
It's
running the party. I mean, he has the control. He's in charge of the Republican Party.
so let's just set the stage a little bit, right? So it's January 6th, and our our senators and our House of Representatives, they're in session, they are doing their job. Um, they're doing their job, and then all H breaks loose. Pence gets
Yeah.
escorted out. Schumer gets escorted out. Oh, I lost Steven. He's gonna be back, I'm sure. Pence gets escorted out. Schumer gets escorted out. We've got senators and congressmen going into hiding, basically in our capital. Um, and obviously, that's a forced recess, right? So, meeting's over. We got to go save our lives because the crazy people are coming to get us. But big ups. Okay, here he is. He's back. Big ups to our elected officials, right? Our elected officials said, look, we're going to finish this job. We're going to certify this election. We're going to come back and do it later that night. But guess what? Donald Trump still didn't stop. We're going to play for
Mm-mm.
you an audio where you can hear Donald Trump's attorney. So this is after the insurrection, still trying to stop the election from being certified. So listen to this. And then on the other side of this, Stephen and I will be back.
Senator Tuberville, or I should say Coach Tuberville, this is Rudy Giuliani, President's lawyer. I'm calling you because I want to discuss with you how they're trying to rush this hearing and how we need you, our Republican friends, to try to just slow it down so we can get these legislatures to get more information to you. And I know they're reconvening at 8 tonight. But the only strategy we can follow is to object to numerous states and raise issues so that we get ourselves into tomorrow, ideally until the end of tomorrow. I know McConnell is doing everything he can to rush it, which is kind of a kick in the head, because it's one thing to oppose us. It's another thing not to give us a fair opportunity to contest it. He wants to try to get it down to only three states that we contest, whether there are 10 states that we contest, not 3. So if you could object to every state and along with a congressman get a hearing for every state, I know we would delay you a lot, but it would give us the opportunity to get the legislators who are very, very close to pulling their votes, particularly after what McConnell did today. It angered them because they have written letters asking that you guys adjourn and send them back the questionable ones and they'll fix them up. So this phone number I'm available on all night, and it would be an honor to talk to you. Thank you.
What? What? What?
Oops. Yeah.
On the
Broad
voicemail?
daylight.
On the wrong voicemail. On the
Yes.
wrong voice. So let's paint the picture, y'all. At this point in time, 5 Americans are dead. 140 are injured. There is still feces and urine and broken windows all over our precious capital.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have never been to DC, book a trip. You gotta see this place. It's amazing. That's the situation. The president's attorney leaves that message. What do y'all think? We're gonna come back to some of those questions. What do y'all think about? So keep in mind what they were in the process of doing. And Kent, you said some of this, and I
Mhm.
agree. I don't want to get into conspiracy theories. This is a opinion show, and I'm gonna give my opinion. And Ken agrees with me. But so what they were there to do was to certify the election, right?
Mhm.
And there were two states, Arizona and Pennsylvania. They was like, oh, we'll give you those two states. It's not going to matter. So for those two states, we got a certain number of representatives that are
Mhm.
going to we're going to contest it, right? So they're going to contest those. So Giuliani, he says we need 10 states. We need you to slow it down. We need you to hold it up. This is on tape. On tape. Ain't that evidence? And so we think. And then I got to go back to what Ken and I are thinking around Pence. What do you think, Stephen?
Uh, wow. I don't know. Hold on for a sec. I think with everything that's been discussed and said, you're talking. What did you just say?
So that recording that
Yeah.
we just played,
Hmm.
where Giuliani left a voicemail, who he thought it was Senator Tuberville, right? That's how you
But
say
that,
his name.
yeah, that Tommy. The thing about this whole thing is, let's say, the insurrection. Let's say 2 o'clock. Everything's in high gear. 2:30 something. He President Trump gets the word, and he calls Mike Lee, and Mike Lee gives the phone uh, to what's his name, and he tells
Tuberville.
them that Tommy Tuberville. He hands him the
Mhm.
phone, so he walks to find him while an insurrection is going on. Now, who in their right mind is who's gonna follow somebody? It's like, okay, that makes sense, but my point I make about that, it doesn't make sense, but that's how they do stuff. Is
Right. And then he made a
after
mistake. Then he made a
after
mistake.
after Pence left the White House, this is when President Trump tweeted that Mike Pence had let the American people down. No senators
Mm,
called Mike Pence just to check on him. There's an interview of a senator from Texas in which they're asking him, hey, have you talked to your friend Mike Pence? Mike Pence was a senator at one time. So there's a bond among all senators. And this senator said, I think he moved back to Indiana. Last I heard, you didn't even bother to call him to see if he was all right after someone tried to kill him.
kill him. And this is what Ken Campbell said, and I thought this too. So if something would have happened to Mike Pence,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
Could Trump have a point? Because Mike Pence didn't do what Trump wanted him to do. That's why
Mhm.
he sent that tweet at 2 o'clock telling his folks, Mike Pence didn't do this, right? So
Mhm.
if could Trump have appointed a new vice president who
Mhm.
would do what he wanted done?
And everybody in the chain, Democrat and Republican, would have been out of the chain of command in White House. Um, Pelosi, and so forth. All of them were available. And Mitt Romney, had it not been for the Capitol police officer, he's headed right into the mob.
Goodman, Goodman, he
Goodman,
was
yes,
everywhere. He was
everywhere,
everywhere.
everywhere, above
He
and
is a
beyond.
true hero.
Yes, that's the definition of a hero.
It is. It is. So Ken, it sounds like Stephen agrees with you too.
Yeah,
It was bad. It was really bad. And Mike Pence, who was a sycophant to the end,
yes,
right? It
exactly.
kissed Trump's, you know what,
All
every
day,
single
brown noser, capital. I mean, just never.
It was bad. It was
Yes,
bad. And then
yes.
he tried to get him killed in front of all of our faces.
Hmm. And
Because
so,
why? Because of the big lie. Because he wanted to be a dictator. We almost, and that's why I cannot understand the GOP senators, because we almost lost it all. All everything. We almost completely lost our democracy and became Russia.
that's right.
And
Just
they're
think if
saying, sorry, go ahead.
was just saying, just think if anyone from Atlanta or from Georgia gave in to Trump, and all of a sudden they said, okay, I'll certify, you win. You know, we're in chaos. Or just think if he could have had influence on the military. He was trying from every angle, every
Everything.
angle. He brought the kitchen sink. Something's waiting for him outside when he becomes a civilian, because he's raising too much fuss about leaving.
Ooh,
If he gets elected as a
ooh,
president, if he gets
that's a
reelected as a president, time runs out on that little rape thing. Time runs out on the New York Attorney General being able to do their civil suit. Time runs out on Vance, another New York Attorney General, doing his stuff. So why not raise Cain, and hope you can, because like if you ever did something and you had to come back home,
hmm
you're thinking about, dog, when now I gotta go face, the consequences for my
right,
parents.
right.
So you're a little nervous about venturing out, coming back home. He's nervous about getting out. Also, one thing to pay attention to is his lovely wife um, didn't come initially to the White House. Her and
Hmm.
Barron
Oh
sat up there and
Lord,
ran up a
where you
hefty
going with this?
fine.
Where you going with this?
She got her prenup done, and then she came.
Nuh-uh.
Why do you think her parents are U.S. citizens now as well? Hello.
They are. You're right.
Okay. Go ahead.
She.
All right. I ain't
I'm no
mad
fan of hers, but I'm not even gonna bring her in.
yeah.
I'm not gonna
But
bring her in. But Chucky agrees
that's
with you. He says that uh 45 needed protection of his presidency. And he needed it.
right.
Just think, we have not found out the true deal of what this man has really done. If he will go through 61 courts, the phone call to Georgia, Rudy
Hmm.
Giuliani making that phone call to Tommy Tuberville after the insurrection had happened and people were dead and 140 police officers were hurt. He never stopped. He never, ever, ever, ever stopped. So that means what he's trying to hide is just that bad.
Well, recently, the financial records have become available to a few people.
Mm,
Deutsche Bank, I don't know if you remember, Deutsche Bank has started cooperating against Donald Trump. Deutsche Bank was the big bank that held a lot of his money in his transactions years ago.
something like 300 million, like big, big
300,
money.
and he's still on the hook for them.
Mm. And so, New York, let's dip a little bit into what's waiting for him as civilian Trump, the Attorney General of New York. I mean,
Generals,
her
generals.
more than one.
There's a civil with God, what's her name? The black I apologize, y'all.
No, no,
And
The Southern District. I'm
and
with you
Vance
there.
Vance is the criminal. She's handling the civil. Vance is handling the criminal, and they've had
Got it.
privy to his financial statements for quite a while. And I've always said, just follow the paper trail, the money trail, and it'll lead right to everything he did.
Wow.
And that's what he's nervous about. You know,
Georgia, Georgia,
yes, yes.
the Attorney General there. So,
There's also a sexual assault allegation um, that has been approved through the courts. So they're just waiting on him to give his. He'll be on the hook for that. I guarantee you that.
wow.
Yep.
So, uh, Audrey, I'm with you, girl. 100%. 100%. I mean, but they had a point of view, right? So we've been talking a lot about kind of our experience because I think we're all witnesses, we're all victims. But this was Trump's attorney's case, and I wrote down 3 points that I picked up. Tried to pick up because his attorneys are terrible. But
Yes.
this is the point number one is they spent a lot of time saying that the impeachment managers videos were taken out of context. So they were saying that, that Trump's words were cut up and used to make him look bad. But the fact is those were his words.
Yeah.
And we don't have time to watch the whole speech. I guess they could have took up their whole 16 hours, Stephen, and showed the whole speech.
They could have, but
I thought the way they did it was really effective. So that was the one thing that they said. Then the other thing that they tried to point out was fight. They showed like a montage of a whole bunch of Democrats saying fight, 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 fight. And then it's like, well, everybody says fight. Here's my 2 cents. There's a difference between fight and war.
that's right.
Right? You fight for your rights. Like I wanted street signs on my corners because we didn't have our street signs when we first moved here in 2016 and you turned into my neighborhood, you would thought it was abandoned because you couldn't even see the names of the streets on the signs. So I had to fight because I asked them nicely and they didn't do it. Then I had to go back again and go back again and back again
That's right.
until finally they did it. But I had to fight to get street signs in my community. That's a fight. I didn't go to war. A war is something that is planned, that is strategized, right?
That's right.
You
That's
got
right.
soldiers. He had soldiers,
Yeah. Proud Boys.
trained militia. So that's the second thing that I picked up, right? And the third thing, which is the funniest of them all, because Lord only knows, like, Stephen and I, we're on this live and we're checking our words, right? Because we don't want to say something that we don't believe is true and that we're going to tell you and it's going to, make you then repeat something. That's just not
Yes.
right. So, but his attorneys are saying that Trump has the right to free speech. He could tell a big lie. He can do whatever he wants to do. He can say words that are political speech that incite people to anger, and that's okay. So his defense is, oh, the prosecution didn't do a good job, which they did with the
Very
videos.
good job.
Everybody says the word fight, but it's different meanings, in my opinion. And you just can't impeach him because free, we all have the right to free speech.
Well, I mean, you have the right to free speech to a certain degree. There's repercussions if that free speech is said in the wrong environment and you sign the moral clause. Um, Donald Trump is the commander in chief of the United States military. He took an oath. An oath. That's something, that's basically before God, an oath of enlistment. I did that in the military. And there's the difference, when what he did was to a military person that I'd already didn't like him. I had a bad feeling about him from day one. But what he did when he took that office, and he did nothing between the hours of 2 o'clock and late that evening, he did nothing. Imagine if former President Obama, when Afghanistan had bombed someone and they were out to kill whoever, bin Laden or whatever, and he did nothing. He was derelict in his duties as commander in chief.
Crazy.
I mean, it's obvious, if he didn't want to do his job. He wanted others to do his job. So That's how I feel. He was
Well,
derelict in
he
his
wanted
duty.
the title, and I don't want to go back to the first impeachment, but
Yeah.
there's something to say about whatever happened with Russia.
Well, just to let you know, Donald Trump, before he got out of the White House, he tried to basically purge or archive all of his conversations between Putin and him,
Ooh.
and that's why he didn't want to have any of the recorders and stuff, and he would like tear up their notes
I
and
remember that, and
all
he
that
wouldn't
crap.
let the
Mhm.
translators in the room and all that.
Well,
Only have
there's
Russian translators in the room.
there's information that's been recorded that's available to the Biden team, and they're in the process of going through all that information to find out. Um, that's right. That's right. But they're in the process of deciphering some of his conversations because they found out. Remember, this President Trump didn't have a logbook of who visited the White House, which has never happened, in history. Everybody had a
Mm.
log of who came to the White House, you know. So a lot of that's going to slowly come out, when President Biden and his staff tear through a lot of this stuff. They left a paper trail, so it'll come out.
It will. It will. And the thing is will it be too late? Right? So, we spent some time on this live today talking about
Wow.
our perspective and watching the trial and what has happened and we was really there on January 6th. We saw this whole thing go down on TV and now some of the evidence is coming out. And then we've talked about Trump's case, which is, he doctored some videos and everybody uses the word fight and you just can't impeach me because, I got the right to free speech, which you really don't. Oh, here's Chucky. I like what he says here. He says, we have the right to free speech, but we are
Mhm.
to peacefully assemble, not to have the president incite violence.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to play a little game with you, Stephen. One, I appreciate your time. And what I'm gonna do, y'all, to Stephen, I'm gonna put him on the spot with some senators. I wrote
Uh-oh.
down some names of some senators, and I want to get
Uh,
his what comes off the top of your head. And
top of my
let's
head.
say the top. I'm gonna name the names, and I want you to tell me
Okay.
what comes off the top of your head, and do it in like 25 seconds or less per
Okay.
senator. Okay. And then
Okay.
while we play this little game, y'all, drop some other comments for us in the comment box, and also let us know where you stand right now. What do you think? It should Donald Trump be impeached or acquitted? So should he be impeached or should he be let go? In your opinion, okay. So first name, Senator Hawley.
Uh, Senator Hawley, I want y'all to pay attention. He is the most dangerous Republican right now. The reason
The
why I say
most
that is
dangerous.
because, yes, he has access to a Democratic platform on almost every, he spoke out against Donald Trump initially. So I think he, with the the Republican Party in disarray, if they want to find someone that's young yet energetic, he'd fit that bill. I don't agree with his
Mm.
policies. I'm just looking at his potential within his party. He's a
Oh
young
yeah.
Republican.
He grosses me out. And the simple
Yeah,
fact that he's disrespectful to the process
yeah.
and
Hmm.
putting his feet up on the table and not
That's
paying
right.
attention, like his mind is
That's
already made up.
made
That's
up.
terrible. That's terrible.
But he spoke. He
Marco,
spoke.
I'm sorry, go
Marco
ahead.
Rubio. Sorry
Marco
about
Rubio.
Marco Rubio is probably in a peculiar situation, being from Florida, as a senator and the Parkland school shooting. People haven't forgot about that. So
Yeah.
Marco Rubio is I mean, he's a senator who's sitting back just collecting. I don't think I think he's burned out. I mean, he needs to go.
That part. Leader Schumer, new leader Schumer.
Chucky. Um, that New York swag, I mean, I feel safer with him, in charge of, of issues from from the House compared to I would, who's that, McCarthy? Look
Hmm.
at the difference. So,
McConnell. Oh, McConnell
McConnell. Okay, yeah.
in
Either
the
way,
Senate.
in the
Yeah.
Senate. So, Mitt, I feel comfortable with Leader Schumer. He's for the people. He's not, not about to run us through these same games like Mitch McConnell did.
Let's bring it home a little bit. Lindsey Graham.
Man, they say, like birds of a feather flock together. So you look at John McCain, him and Lindsey was supposedly boys. I know he rolling over in his grave right now, because
Oh no, I
it's
don't.
sad to say, but John McCain was comparing him to Lindsey Graham. Only reason Lindsey Graham spoke out against Trump, and those people started heckling him in the airport, and then he
Mm,
jumped right back on it. I mean,
it's crazy. Listen, the comments are lit right now. I
uh,
can't even say some of this stuff. Reagan, I don't know what that means. I can't put that up because I don't know what that means. But they're lit. Okay, Tim Scott.
sure. Wow. Yes.
Tim Scott. I think that's who. I think that's what Kim
Tim
said
Scott.
about Tim Scott. Hmm.
Um, he's perfect for South Carolina.
What?
He's perfect for South Carolina. Not in the way you're thinking. I'm saying it to be smart
Okay, okay.
because based on we all know he's on time. We know that. We know that, but he's perfect for South Carolina. Some parts of South Carolina don't want to change.
Yeah.
Some parts of South Carolina need that black face that'll say, "Yes, sir, boss. I was getting to it," and he's that person.
Mm, mm,
There is nothing. He's a spineless person. I mean, there's nothing he could say. I saw a video where he was trying to shake Donald Trump's hand, and the man just kept
I'm sorry,
ignoring
Pete.
him and kept
I just
ignoring
saw a
him. Oh, he's
I just saw a comment. You gotta recheck it. I can't put it up.
a
It's too
grab lips,
funny.
a gorilla glued to Trump. Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna give you
All
another one.
right.
I'm gonna give. Let me.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you another one. And this one is. I think this may be in the middle, but I'm curious to say what you think about this senator, and it's Senator Romney.
Um, Mitt's Mitt's a throwback. Like I said, I can deal with a Republican. That's not the issue.
I agree.
What we're dealing with has nothing resembling a Republican. Republicans back in the day were about small government. Small government. Remember that.
I do. Yeah.
Donald
Trickle
Trump,
down economics and
trickle
small
down
government.
economics, all of that. Donald Trump
Mhm.
has the largest deficit in the history of the United States
Mhm.
ever.
Mhm.
But so Mitt Romney, in my opinion, is believe it or not, he's the closest thing to a Republican that I know.
Yeah. To
I
original
don't
Republican,
the
because
original Republican.
I tell people all the time, right? Our neighbors are Republicans, our
Yeah,
friends are Republicans,
yeah.
our family is Republicans. Republicans are not bad people. We
No,
have there's a virus in that party right now,
it is.
and
It
it is
is.
infecting it, and
Yes, it is.
but that virus will hurt all of us
It
if
will.
we don't deal with it. I mean, just think about just in politics in general. Before Donald Trump, I mean, it seems like once Donald Trump became president, I mean, me personally, I say a lot more curse words than I used to.
Yes, I did too. A
I
lot.
mean, because he's able to say things just like out there in public, and He's just basically taken the morality of our entire country way, 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 way down and
Yeah.
pitted neighbor against neighbor and family
Mm.
members against family members over nonsense that's not even true. So with that, and guys, that last little thing was meant to be fun, not really not trying to trash those folks that are elected
Yeah.
officials that have taken sacrificed a lot. They have sacrificed a lot
It's funny.
to run for office and to be public servants, but we do know that there's some out there that mean us harm.
Yeah.
And as Americans, as a democratic society, we need to make sure that we hold them accountable, and we need to get rid of them. Anybody
Yes.
who was involved, aka Cruz,
Yes.
Hawley, you
Hmm.
guys, they gotta go.
Yep.
And not they by the law they gotta go. We ain't crazy.
Yeah.
Don't go, do
Yeah.
anything crazy to their
I
house,
got
but they gotta go. They gotta go. So it's been a great hour. Any final words you wanted to say, Stephen?
you. I just think that after everything we've been, my dog's trying to jump up here.
Well,
Um,
let's see him. Let's see him. Let's see him. Let's
let's
come
see
on.
her. Oh, let me
Her.
see.
Okay.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, she's big. What's her
She's
name?
like a Grace.
Oh, hey, Grace. Welcome to the live, Grace. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry
So
for cutting you off.
yeah, I I wish there was some way that hopefully they can get him on a technicality or ethics clause that will disqualify him from running
Yeah.
again. I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. It could be, as long as he's not able to run again. That man, he has everything he's touched in his life has failed. I'm
Ooh.
not. Where's the lie from Trump?
No, you're telling the truth. Look, I'm from
From
Jersey. I knew
Trump,
Trump way back
Trump
when.
Taj Mahal. I mean, Trump University. Everything this man
Ruined
has touched
Atlantic
has
City.
failed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Mm-hmm.
he's touched. So when we look at this economy, he's never been a good businessman. Never. So
Well, look. Chucky says, "Thank you, Stephen. We
yeah,
appreciate your insight and your knowledge." Same here. Same here.
that's
I just felt like we had to go live tonight,
mm,
and talk to folks, give people the opportunity to vent, and some of y'all
right.
did. We are loving the comments.
Yes, thank you. Oh,
Yes.
one more thing. One more thing. I forgot before I leave. Um, I am debating on for Valentine's Day, uh, because we didn't, as a group, contribute to uh, Mullins High School. I'm thinking about raffling off two crab pies with a lotion for a woman's gift and a male uh, bag, a gift with, like shaving cream, Nivea, shaving gel, that type stuff for a man. So three different raffles, $3 a piece. All proceeds will go to the Mullins High School alumni and them.
So let me give folks some comment, because not everybody who watches the live. What's your Cash App, by the way?
Stephe, my name, just my name right there. Everything
HRV.
same way it's
Okay,
written
I'm
right
gonna
there.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put it up.
Yes, that.
Raffles. So, Stephen Hurnett, he is the founder, or one of the co-founders of Rose Colored Mullins, which is a Facebook group, which is open for everybody to have dialogues like this. I mean, we
Yeah.
we we can talk on that group and not be afraid of judgment, no matter what side that you're on. Um,
No matter
Stephen,
what
I
color,
didn't,
no matter what
or
color
what?
you are either.
That's right.
It's you have to feel, a little, nervous for it to happen, for it to start working, to get a dialect started with someone so change can occur. And until that happens, you're just going to have angry people.
Yeah. And that's what I think. I like to think the platform that I put out there. Like, I clearly have a point of view, but I
Yeah.
take feedback and comments from people who have different points of view, obviously. Ken Campbell wants an invite to Rose Colored Mullins. So
That's right.
he lives in Mullins, and the alumni, there's an alumni group for the high school children, or the high school in Mullins, and they have an annual get together, and the proceeds from that get together goes to scholarships for children that live in Mullins. Well, right
Mhm.
now, because of COVID, they're unable to have the get together. So now let's come down the pike of Steven's crab pie. Dang, y'all, I'm cash apping. I'm gonna go ahead and get some of these raffles. These
Yeah.
crab pies. So for us Jersey folks, we kind of call them quiches, right? So it's like,
Yes,
it's the
exactly.
most. It's a crab quiche that has shrimp in it. It is full. It is so good. Like, literally, I can eat a whole one. I wish you would just get in the business of selling them, because I would buy them
A
doggone
lot
things.
of a lot of people are telling me that. I never taste them, y'all, so I don't know how they taste.
What? What do you mean you don't taste it?
I I don't eat seafood. I have the gout, so I hope
Oh,
it be
it's so
good.
good. It
I
it
thank you,
Listen, my
thank
friend, he had gave me, I don't know if it was a half or whole, I forget, because I ate almost the whole thing.
you.
But a friend of mine, she was like, I was gonna go see her, and I said, I'll bring you a piece. I'll bring you a piece. I'll bring you a piece. It never made it to her. I'm so sorry, Nicole. I'm so
Oh,
sorry. I
Nicole.
could not get you. I didn't get her a
Oh my
slice. I
goodness.
couldn't.
No.
It just,
Oh
once you
man.
start eating this. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's gonna raffle off crab
Two of
pies,
them. Two
two
crab
crab
pies
pies,
with the lotion.
and with the lotion and for a man and woman. And so it's $3 per raffle, and everything you do will go to a good
100%.
cause. A
Soon
hundred
as it
percent of it.
soon as the Cash App reaches me, it's automatically sent, and I'll leave a paper trail for all on the rose colored Mullins to see. That's the least we can do.
Awesome. 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 Well, thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
And
you.
thank you guys that were on live with us.
Yeah,
And
I
if you're
really
watching the
appreciate it.
replay, we appreciate you. Share, even if
Yeah,
you're
share.
watching on the replay, share, 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 share. And let's see how this whole thing wraps up. Steven, can you come back with me at the end?
Yes, I
Once
can. Yes, I
what
can. Probably be
all right.
Tuesday, I think. I want to say Tuesday.
So this brother knows what he's talking about. We will be back.
That's right.
Bye guys.
Take care, y'all.